Hey guys, what's up? This is Jeff Osagi back with another video, guys. It is around 12. It is 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not tired yet, but I will be soon. And I'm doing this video for all you because I am a huge fan of ghost stories. I love ghost stories so much, and my favorite ghost story of all time, growing up as a kid, is the legend of Sleepy Hollow. Now, many people might know somewhat of the legend. Maybe they don't know much of it, and everyone knows that was Horseman. Everyone knows that. Him. Um, and it's my favorite story of all time. So I'm going to tell it to you guys as part of Halloween, and it's also my favorite holiday of all time, Halloween. Anyways, so the story begins with a guy named Ichabod Crane. He's coming into a town called Sleepy Hollow from New York City, and he's going to be the new school teacher. Um, and he, is poor. He's not a poor. He's not a very wealthy individual, obviously. He's very skinny, very superstitious, and easily frightened, and all that type of stuff. But very smart and very not caring, but he is caring. But poor, skinny, but he can eat a lot of food. Anyways, he becomes a teacher at the schoolhouse in this place, and he teaches, students, and he would walk the little students home after all of his lessons when he was the little students to their home. But while he was walking them home, he would start to, get into it with the families, do some jobs there, room and board, or board and food, and, to a certain extent where he got a horse named Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke was an old horse. It was a plow horse, meaning it was used to plow, and it was not a good horse to ride, let alone it was kind of mean. Like, it was old, mean, it didn't want to be there at all. It didn't want to do anything, actually. It was just a bad horse, okay, to have. Anyways, one day while he started giving lessons to ladies in the town and singing, and he met a woman named Katrina Van Tassel. Well, she was one of the women in his private lessons. In the private lessons, he would give her. Now, there's another thing. Katrina Van Tassel was very wealthy, and very pretty, like most beautiful woman, I think, in the Sleepy Hollow town. But she was not married yet, so there was everyone in the town except. Mostly everyone in town wanted to marry her, but two people were one person was closer than anyone, and his name was Abraham von Brandt, or Bronze for short. I call him Bronze because Brunt, or I don't like the last name. I like the first name. Bronze is better. Anyways, Bronze, and he was absolutely loved. He's kind of like Gaston without the Gaston part. Well, he is Gaston, basically. He is Gaston with Gaston. Literally, if they could make a better song, it'd be like no one's better than Abraham von Brunt. That's maybe the better song. It'd be he's Gaston without being a total dickwad. If you get no, he's actually a dickwad. No, sorry, mind. Anyways, back to this. So Ichabod Crane tries to do everything to become a good get Katrina's affections, and so does what's the name, and Von Brandt or Abraham. I'm just gonna call him Abraham from now on. I hate Brandt or whatever his name is. Abraham is pissed because now there's this guy, schoolmaster, trying to take the girl he loves away from him, and he doesn't want that. So he figures out that he's scared of all these things, and he would make a dog make a weird, annoying sound to mess it up when he was teaching Katrina how to sing, and he would do all these mean things. He even vandalized the schoolhouse at one point. So that all leads up to the Halloween dance held at the Van Tassel, or Halloween party at the Van Tassel residence. Now, again, Ichabod Crane only likes yes, she's pretty, but more along the lines, he likes her because she's wealthy, and he doesn't like being poor. So he really doesn't really love her, per se. he thinks that it'd be awesome if he was wealthy and she had a beautiful wife, and he doesn't really care about her, about her feelings or whatever she wants and what they want. So, anyways, the story goes. How the story goes is that night there's a lot of food, and he's dreaming about what it would be like if he was married to her, and how this entire party he'd be the one running it in the future if everything goes right to according to plan. And he dances with Katrina all night, and Abraham is pissed because he's watching this guy get all the fun, and he's kind of looking like I did when I was at my middle school dance as a kid. Similar to my middle school dance. I did dance with a lot of girls, but it was more. There were a couple of times where I wasn't dancing, that he looked like me. My middle school dance. Back to where I was at. So he's so at one point he realizes I'm tired of this shit. I'm gonna take my girl back. So what he does is he tells the entire party the ghost stories of Sleepy Hollow, and in the stories he tells about the Headless Horseman and how that he once had an encounter with him, and he ran across the bridge that's on the part of the town and escape, and right before the horseman grabbed the bridge, he burst into flames and disappeared. Now, that's the thing. So when the party ends and Abraham Van Brunt goes home, so much of their desk, Ichabod Crane stays behind to try to woo Katrina, and even more with his advances, and it turns out he's turned down. And he's very bummed. But then again, you start to remember when you read this, you're like, well, yeah, he also only wanted her for her money and her beauty, not because he actually cared or loved her at all. So you don't really feel bad for him after that moment. So he's walking in the night, and it's getting late, and the horse is very old, so it's not walking very fast, or trotting very fast, or whatever you want to call it. And it's very dark, and he's getting scareder and scareder by the minute at night. The reason why is because it's very spooky in the middle of the forest at night. Anyways, so he's getting there closer and closer, and all of a sudden he sees a thing in the darkness, a figure. He asks who is there, and he doesn't get an answer. So, and all of a sudden, the thing's walking closer and closer. So he keeps walking with Gunsmoke, okay? And when they get up to a hill, there's a moonlight finally sheds some light onto what has been following him for this entire time, and reveals a rider with no head, with a horseman rider with no head, the Headless Horseman, with a black steed with red eyes, and a pumpkin under his arm. And Ichabod Crane is terrified, and he gives 3 kicks to Gunsmoke's legs, and Gunsmoke takes off the best as he can, and the horseman pursues in chase, and all the while he keeps the horseman's gaining on Gunsmoke and Ichabod, and Ichabod's thrashing the reins, saying, "Faster, Gunsmoke, faster! Faster, Gunsmoke, faster!" And remember, the fact Gunsmoke is an old thing. It's at a certain point where the actual saddle that it's under is basically ripped off, and now he's riding bareback on this fucking shit, on this old horse, and he's holding onto its mane, and it's dear God. And then all of a sudden he sees the bridge over the running stream over her head, and they bolt through the thing. And right before that, he thinks, the Headless Horseman, he says, "I'm safe." He thinks I'm safe. The Headless Horseman grabs his pumpkin with his flaming and throws her right through the bridge, and it supposedly hits Ichabod Crane right in the face. Now, the story goes on, and then no one knows what happened to Ichabod Crane. And it's decided that no one saw, the town of Sleepy Hollow ever saw Ichabod Crane again. All we do know is that later on, sometime later, Abraham von Brandt and Katrina Van Tassel got married, and whenever there was mentioned Ichabod Crane and the Headless Horseman, he would smile like he knew something that like the town didn't know. Like he somehow had a hand in either killing him or getting rid of him. Till one day, a guy from farmer coming from the big city, saying that Ichabod Crane's alive. And again, this is from guy from afar, from the New York's, from the city, so no one really knows that he's alive. He practiced law, became a powerful man, and all that type of stuff. Now, I'm more of excited, happy about the last ending, the one ending. I like both, and I like the one where he dies, and I like the one where he doesn't, because I like the one where it says no one in the town ever saw him again, because in my point of view, everyone believes that I think Washington Irving wanted us to use critical thinking skills to assume, did he die, or did he just disappear? When they set out a search party to find him after he gone missing for a while, all they found was this trampled hat, a smashed pumpkin, and that was it. Gunsmoke, by the way, survived. It ran away. The horse ran away. But I love that story, guys. It's a very good story. It's a very interesting story. One of my favorite stories of all time. Sometimes there are variations where Brom dresses up the Headless Horseman, scares him, and then he knows it's Brom. And then the second time, and then there's another time when he meets the Headless Horseman, and then he thinks it's Brom again, and then only when he realizes it's not Brom, he starts to run. That's another good one. I like that one too, but I like this one. This is the original. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you in the next video, guys.